enthusiasm of this Cincinnati crowd in full effect a moment ago as their Bengals took the field to the delight of this sold-out crowd. And they're all set as they'll match up with the Cleveland Browns. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Tackle made that time by Michael Johnson.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. On 2nd down, Johnson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
When I watch plays like that, I give a lot of thanks that my DNA did not make me an offensive tackle, because that is a very difficult job, to hold your block against a really good defensive end and hang on to it so your runner can get to the edge and do it without holding. I don't know that that's really possible for very many people.
And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13. Mayfield now. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Gordon. And all the way down to the 26. A big play there on the catch and run. 51 yards. And defensively, these corners struggled last week. They're struggling again here early on the opening drive.
And you know that was not unnoticed on tape. So when they saw their struggle last week, guaranteed they went right into the game plan, attack them early, see if they're going to play any better, and if not, you keep the pressure on them until things change.
So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. The first down carry here for Johnson. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
From the red zone now, Mayfield. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And here he'll get it down to the 7.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on 1st down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. They give them 2 yards there as they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up 1st downs.
play fake here on first down. Rolling to his right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Michael Johnson in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year. So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's 2nd and goal.
Detroit! Detroit! Over!
Mayfield to throw it. This will be caught just inside the 10. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Only able to pick up 2, and that leads us to 3rd and goal. Can this defense get the stop on the opening drive? Here's 3rd and goal.
All right, here we go. Blue 90! Blue 90! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Over!
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
Zane Gonzalez now to try the Browns field goal. This one from 35 yards away. And Gonzalez puts this one through. And the Browns are out to a 3-0 lead. So a nice drive on the road. You come in, you take the ball down, you get 3 points.
Yeah, points are a must on an opening drive, right? So they moved it down efficiently, got it done. I think that bodes well for their chances moving forward in this one.
This one taken from the 7. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. 1st and 10, just shy of the 30.
Hey, getting ready for something coming left.
The first carry for the second-year man, Joe Mixon. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Snap came at 1. Now here's Dalton. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Cameron Meredith, the intended target. And that'll make it 3rd down.
There are a good number of coaches at any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
4 down. Check. There you go. 93, 52, 93, 44.
Out of the gun, it's Dalton to Mixon on the check down. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back Good job declining that penalty.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. The Browns offense heading back out to take possession. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
Yeah, maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now a former Buckeye back home. It's Carlos Hyde. A second spin.
Turning and turning and turning.
Carlos Hyde, see you later. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Carlos Hyde, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Browns were able to strike quickly for 6. And those are the highlight reel runs you dream of right there.
When he gets a seam and just gets through it, how about the explosiveness, the burst to get there to begin with, and then once he's in full gallop, good luck trying to track him down.
And those plays so demoralizing for the defense.
Absolutely, because you've done so much work trying to keep people in front of you. When they're past you and behind you, that's a tough one to swallow.
Gonzalez now to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. 1st and 10 at their own 23. To throw here, Dalton out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. Mixon hit, and all the ball is out. And he'll score. Touchdown, Browns. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
Gonzalez good on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is taken at his 4. The Bengals getting set to go. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now, and I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Good.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. It's 2nd down. Dalton looking for his tight end, Eifert, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals, and if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Johnson on the counter. And some room to roam now. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
Okay, let's face it. Most of the offensive linemen in today's NFL, they're going to weigh over 300 pounds, but that doesn't mean they don't have agility. And the way that they can get out in front of a runner and create a space, sometimes it looks like they're going in one direction, and the runner uses his eyes to take him in another direction because it's been blocked so well. Love those misdirection or counter plays, and this one worked really well for a nice piece of yardage.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
Watch him now, Barney.
He's going to get it running right. And he's in. Touchdown, Browns. Duke Johnson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Browns add on to their lead. And, Charles, when you catch that toss going right or left, really, but right in this instance, do you go straight for the pylon? Is that where you're going?
Well, typically you want to try and maneuver people a little bit so you have some space to get to the pylon. So I want to make sure I try and move them a little bit to the inside, and in this case to the left, so I can get to the right side and get to that pylon and wink at it as I go by.
Gonzalez now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Hey, get ready for something coming left.
Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Dalton throwing on 2nd down. Pressure up the middle, and down he goes. Myles Garrett in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Here's Dalton. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for fourth. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Lucky 56. All right, here we go. 319. 319.
Now a 2nd down throw for Mayfield. Throw left side, caught by the tight end Njoku. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him up to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Mayfield on play action. He sets to fire deep. Looking for Landry, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Alabama man, Dre Kirkpatrick. And he will take this all the way up past the 40-yard line. Wait a second. They did not accept that after the incompletion. Your look is just as puzzled as mine.
I got nothing for you here. You have to take that penalty, don't you?
It's free yards. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Over here. You're good. 59.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Second down, Dalton. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander, and they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
For the Browns, good starting field position as they have it 1st and 10.
Now let's go. Blue line
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. 9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1. The Browns on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. The Browns on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
From the gun, Mayfield. Flush to his right. He can run for it, and he will. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the first down and a 21-yard gain.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
First down, Mayfield. Out to the flat for Hyde. And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call. That's on the guard, Kevin Zeitler, first-round pick back in 2012. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. They'll try to throw here. Mayfield. He gets it left side to Johnson. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. They get a good chunk of that penalty yardage back. A gain of 15. 2nd down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Mayfield now on 2nd down. Now he'll escape to his left. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir, able to turn that into a positive gain. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he is out of bounds, looks like right at the 15. It's a gain of 3, and it gets him the first.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And here he'll get it down to the 7th. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Play fake. Mayfield. Forced out to his left. When in doubt, do it yourself as he keeps it for 3 and a first down. The last drive, remember, similar situation. He forced a ball into coverage through the pick. He learned better there.
Yeah, similar to a golfer that's confronted with a shot that you just can't make. Sometimes you have to take your medicine, as they say, right? Just pull it down, take off, and go. Don't make something worse than what it was.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
Back 99 Philly, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. And before the second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. Josh Gordon, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short. The Browns on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and goal.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Throwing, Mayfield. And they're going to get to him, a sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And the kick by Gonzalez is good. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. Gonzalez now to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution?
And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. And he's going to go down again. Levante David in there to drop him, and sacks on First and second downs are going to lead to a 3rd and long. So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Throwing, Dalton. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. 7 yards on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the 3rd quarter. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion.
Set! Blue 90! Blue 90!
They begin this drive with Chubb, and he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
Now with a play clock at 4, we're going to get a timeout called. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
Check 37.
And again, it's Chubb. Vontaze Burfict, the one to get him down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The Browns on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety. Watch him now, Barney. Barney. Kill.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he'll be hit and dropped for a loss at the 5-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that's going to make it 4th down. Here's Britton Colquitt now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from... It's fielded at the 45. A punt of 46, a return of 5. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here.
They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they worry things are going to pick up. I've got this, but he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. And he's going to take this one down to about the 46-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end.
Set. 319. 319.
Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. And he's got some space here. Past the 20. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Check 13. Check 13.
Again, it's Johnson, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
They'll give it to Chubb. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
He's going to get it running right. And he takes this one in for a Browns score. Carlos Hyde with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Browns continue to roll. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT. And the lead will swell by 1 more. This is taken at his 4. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Back to the NFL scoreboard for a second, 3rd quarter in Indy. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's taken down. This will be a Browns sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Dalton here from the gun. He gets this one to Boyd. He's going to be out of bounds on what's going to wind up being the final play of quarter number 3. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd down and 12.
368.
Operating from the gun. Dalton. Under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
It's taken to the 26. He won't go down. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. they're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
The Browns on third down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 9. They go to Johnson again. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. Give him 9 on the pickup, but they're still a few inches short now on 4th down. Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Here's Dalton, and he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. Dalton gives to Bernard. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Taken from just outside the 30. Look at the spin.
Balance.
And that negates a pretty decent punt return.
And the goal is to gain a 1st down on a punt return, which is 10 yards. This was much more than that, but it is going to come back due to the illegal block in the back.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10.
56 to Mike. 56 to Mike.
Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Check 43.
Now a handoff. Johnson. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Carlos Dunlap, the defensive end, the one to bring him down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. On the toss, here's Johnson. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. That's good for a Cleveland first down and 11-yard pickup.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10.
Check the backer, check the backer.
Here's a 20th carry for Johnson. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion, because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team.
The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column, too.
So for the Browns, the win gets them a step closer to 500 at 5-6. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, the problems just get worse and worse as they fall to 2-9 now on the year. And they'll have a tough one at home next week